What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 9, Elevate the World podcast. Angie here. We got Scotty and we got Prince.
What's up?
What's
How's
going on,
everyone
everyone?
today? How are you guys?
Fantastic. Got my workout in already. Got to sleep in a little bit. I stayed up to watch football, and I watched the UFC fight last night. That didn't end till like 1 a.m. So still got my
Nice.
6-7 hours of sleep. Whoops, that I recovered in the green. So it's a good day.
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. I'm doing good. Yeah, I got some time with the family. That's the biggest thing for me. I'm always moving around throughout the week. So like this weekend, I was like, I'm staying in the house. I'm locking myself in. So I got some time with some family, rest, and yeah, I'm good.
Good, good.
Yep,
Well,
yep.
this house has one thing on their mind this weekend, and it's football.
Let's go.
If you guys watched the games yesterday, if you are a football fan, in my opinion, guys, the NFL is changing. The NFL is changing. The faces are going to be different. I
Mhm.
mean, look what happened yesterday. Big wins for Cincinnati
Oh, yeah.
and for the 49ers. I mean, can you believe that there will be no Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs?
Yeah, he's out. It's funny too. Did you see the stat about him 0-4 against the Niners? Yeah,
And
it is
how
like
about shout out to you two? How about a California team only beating Green Bay at home 2 other times in history, I believe?
it's
You
West
it's
Coast.
tough.
California, you
Yeah.
California boys can't hang with that weather. And then when that snow came down, I mean,
Got nervous.
Hey,
unbelievable.
it's rough. I remember living out in Cali, and I would panic when it got like 55. Now I'm like,
Right?
I'm praying for 55-degree days.
You guys
So
wear a
last
jacket
night,
today?
oh my gosh. So last night at the game, it felt like 2 degrees, what they said. And the
Mhm.
49ers came in and did it. They got the W. I couldn't believe it.
Special teams did it big time.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it for the
let's
West,
go
man.
ahead and there's going to be some football talk throughout this whole entire podcast because we just have to. We just have to. It's a really exciting day. It's an exciting time for sports. So we're going to start with a quote. Okay. So my quote comes from the coach who led the Green Bay Packers from 1959 to 1967, led them to 3 NFL championships and to 2 Super Bowl victories, Super Bowl 1 and Super Bowl 2. Scotty, who am I talking about?
Lombardi.
Yes, yes. All right. Okay. So what makes
Vince.
him so famous is that he became the face of winning. Okay. Determination to win. So his quote is, everyone has a will to win, but very few have the will to prepare to win. And that is truth, big time.
Facts.
100%.
Absolutely. 100%. We're seeing it in football. We see it in life. We see it in business. We see it in our own training. We see it in our clients every single day, right? So, what we're going to talk about today, we're going to transition into obviously, we're talking about winning. So, I want to start off with, what does winning mean to us? Because everybody has a different definition of winning, and it doesn't not have to be sports related. It can be life, like I said, business, family, personal, whatever that it is. So, I'll start. Winning to me is reaching your goals no matter what they are. Okay. It's reaching anything that you want, no matter what it is, and not letting obstacles get in your way. Scotty, what about you?
No, I really like that. Winning to me is putting in the work to achieve your goal, to achieve that outcome. There's a lot more into it as well, but it's just overcoming all the obstacles, and then just rising up and being on top. It might be briefly, it might be for a long time. It could be team related, it could be personal. But there's so many different styles of winning. Everyone just thinks like, oh, winning is just like you win a championship or you win a trophy, but like there's a lot more into winning, such as like winning the day or just winning a fight with yourself or maybe your spouse or just an argument, something like that. But it's a lot. Like, and to win also means you have to have integrity and you have to have like a lot more that kind of, we'll get into it more because I know we have a couple other topics to hit, but overall, that's what it is for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It does not have to be sports related. It could just be winning your workout. It could be winning your conference call, winning at the sales game, winning that, in whatever that it may be. All right, Prince, what do you have?
Man, I have a lot, but I'm gonna keep it at one sentence and say, for me, like to win and like what winning is all about is being in that the uncomfortable zone, but also to win there has to be a battle. So of course you're gonna be uncomfortable. You got something to fight against. So I think like you can win every day. You know what I mean? With anything you do.
Absolutely. Now, Scotty got into this a little bit. In my opinion, there's certain qualities of a winner, right? Because not everybody wins all the time. And that's not a negative thing. Well, we'll talk about that. But what qualities make a winner? Okay, so in my opinion, one word that absolutely comes to mind is the word grit. Guys, it gets ugly, it gets hard. You don't want to, nobody wants you to, or not many might want you to. You've got to really push through all the crap, right? And that takes grit. Grit is really what I feel sets people apart. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reference that Cincinnati game last night when our boy Joe got sacked 9 times. Did you guys see his face? He was about to crack. He didn't. The look in his eyes when that camera came up on him, that kid was going to crack, but he pulled it together because you could almost see his brain working saying, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. He looked scared and confident at the same time. His grit is what really pushed him through last night because every time he got sacked, he got right back up. So
boy had ice in his veins.
Yes. So
grit, I got goosebumps when you said that.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see all of that, but that was touching.
Right. And his oh my gosh, his face just said it all. So grit. Obviously, we know hard work and passion for what you're doing. Absolutely. But let's go to the word relentless, which if you haven't read Tim Grover's book, Relentless, you got to read it because relentless means a couple things. It means constant, it means dedication, and it means harsh. And a lot of times, guys, winners are not your favorite people. Winners don't care if you like them or not. We will reference the Michael Jordans and the Tom Brady's somewhere in this podcast. But being relentless, you do not care what anybody thinks. You have winning on the mind, and that's the only thing you're worried about. Scotty, what about you?
I'm writing these down.
No, I really love that. Definitely, I love grit. Grit was one of the ones I had as well. But just a couple of the name, discipline. You got to make sure that you're staying on top of it. It's like winning and having a quality to win is you want it. It's like your belief. It's what you believe in. It's where you want to go. You have to have that mindset. Like no one just wins on accident. Like, yeah, you can win by chance for like the lottery or something like that. Something like that you can win, but you could put money into it, but there could be someone that puts money into it one time and they win. It's not like they put a bunch of hard work into that. Yes, they put hard work into earning their money, so you can go along that route. But like you got it's that urge to just want it. It's the taste of victory. Like when you get a little bit of it, you stay hungry for it and you just want to keep getting after it. So that's one way I like to describe it, is just always being hungry for it. You get that taste in your mouth and you're just like, oh, it feels good. You get that rush. And then along with that is like putting that work in, like going in, and when you come out on top, it's that feeling like you know what you did to get there. So like knowing that you were disciplined, having the patience to get to where you ended or get to where you wanted it to be. Like it's not going to happen overnight. And then having that confidence as well, like knowing that that is what you want. Like Michael Jordan, like all those guys, like Tom Brady, like they're like, I'm going to be the best. Like I want to be the best. I know I'm the best. And was it Ali also? Ali was one who said it himself. He was like, I am the best before he was the best. Like he said it to himself. So putting yourself in that mindset and having that urge, that want to win.
Right, right. And I don't always agree with fake it till you make it, but you'll hear lots and lots of winners out there say, I thought of myself as a winner before I even won. Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, fake it to make it too is like one of those things where like you have to tell yourself it's not like it's not fake to you, but like you don't want to be out there being like, oh, like I did this. They don't want to lie either. We want to make sure you're like, don't be like an asshole. You're like lying about like, oh,
you
like,
got to speak your greatness into existence, though.
Exactly. You got to speak into existence. So you got to keep saying it to yourself. It's more so for yourself to kind of get yourself
Right.
in that mode, in that lane.
Right, right. Our Prince, what do you have? What qualities do you think make a winner?
I would say knowing one's worth. Kind of just leading off of what Sky just said and what you even said about like fake it till you make it, but knowing your worth and speaking like I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? Like even before I get there, I already knew that I was going to be that type of thing. So I would say knowing self-worth. Another one I would say is dedication. I feel like it takes a really, really high level of dedication towards something to really win at it and to even have like a thirst for the process, not just the reward, but having a thirst for the process to where even if you don't win this certain round of the battle, you still are a winner at heart and you're going to get that win. You're going to get it. You're going to go until you get it. So dedication. And then I would say the last one would be, I got a long list, like no lie. Last one, yeah, ambitious. Yes, and I think that goes back into just having that thirst and just wanting more. Like to win something is to get something that you didn't have in the first place anyway. Like I'm going after that W. You know what I mean? So to win, I feel like it's a lot that comes with it. But those are the three main characters that I always think about when thinking about somebody winning and what like their mindset and probably what they have on their mind. I personally really, really like grit, which both of y'all already kind of mentioned. I really like grit because that's that badass feature. Like when you look at a winner, you think badass, even if they're cool, humble, they're badass,
Mm-hmm. Like an example at F45 is like, how we have the heart rate monitors on, the line hearts and everything is on the screen. They have the scoreboard and you're like, you're first and all that. I might not be first place on that board, but there's also like a feeling in me where like, I feel like I sometimes am the hardest worker in that room. And I know that. And I know maybe I'm not winning against anybody else, like for to say like heart rate wise, but like I'm winning for myself. Like I won that workout because I could say I honestly like left it all on the floor after a workout.
Hey man,
right.
You brought back so many memories of me for Maryland and Timonium thinking about the heart rate monitors on the walls, man. That was a good that was a good one. Glad you used
that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved pushing the clients to hit those numbers. It was just yes, we had like that was just so amazing to be able to like literally coach them to winning their workouts. Like that's what we did every day. And it was epic. It was awesome. That really was amazing. But going back to winners, there's two things that come to mind. Prince, you said the process. So I was reading something and this came across and it was amateurs have goals, professionals have a process. Isn't that cool? Like, and to go back to what you're talking about hard work, Scotty, a lot of people can win because they have the talent, right? Okay. But we all know, and I'm sure we've all seen in our life that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work, right? So all day long, all day long.
Mhm.
Like I could get on stage. There could be a girl that's got killer genetics, but if she's not putting in the work and I am, then you know what? Maybe the edge will go to me. So,
Yep.
so that is the truth. Absolutely, absolutely. So we've talked about in prior episodes, we've talked about morning routines, we've talked about setting up our day, things that we do, but I really truly believe that winners truly create a different mindset every day. So you wake up in the morning and it's almost like you have to think about, what is your expectation of yourself today?
Mhm.
And it could be different every day. So I want to talk about a little bit about what are ways that we create a winning mindset, or what ways that people can create a winning mindset. I think having a solid routine is important. And I think whatever you're trying to win at, you need to work that into your routine. Example being, we go back to the Michael Jordans, the 100+ baskets every morning. He'd be the first one at the training center, first one at the gym. Like, what is your routine that is setting you up? I don't think that winners just wake up and they're like, I'm here. Like, there is mental work that goes into it. Absolutely. So besides having that solid routine, Scotty, what is a way that people can wake up and can create that winning mindset?
Basically, like I've been reading Atomic Habits uh, by you, or not by you, by
James,
James Clear, but
James
you're the one that
Clear.
you're the one that told me about it.
I'm a huge
So
huge fan of that man.
I'm only in the first like phase of it, or the first like section of it, but I really love the aspect that it talks about is making your habits your belief. It's not just what you want; it's not the outcome. Making like habits, because like habits are kind of like automatic. It's kind of like you just, all right, you move, you move, you move, all right, and then something happens like easily for you, and you like that kind of like ease, and it's kind of like just your brain like just thinks of it, but you have to like kind of force yourself to create like a better and effective habit, and that is believing in it. So basically, if someone wants to quit smoking cigarettes, someone asks them to smoke cigarettes. He, as an example in the book, one person would be like, "Oh, I'm trying to quit," and then the other person would be like, "Oh, I'm not a smoker." Like the person that says I'm not a smoker already believes that they are not a smoker anymore, which is going to help them make that habit an actual thing, rather than
Great example.
being, yeah, rather
Yeah.
than being like, oh, I'm trying to quit. Like, oh, you're still saying that you're a smoker though, because you're saying you're trying to quit. So it's all about like having your
Truth.
belief,
Yes.
and that's how that outcome will come. So don't always put your outcome right there. You want to have a goal, don't get me wrong, like set a goal for yourself, but like that, like there's more to it than just having that goal. And then I also like you said, having that routine is very important. Andy Frisella talks about making a power list. I started doing that recently, trying to get back into things. And the power list is meant to, we talked about in a previous episode about setting yourself up to create a good habit. So you have 5 things that you have set for that day. There are 5 things that you maybe have trouble doing. All right. So you kind of write them down. And once you're done with it, you cross off the list. And those small little wins will help you win the day. When you win the day after day, then you win the week, then you could win the month, and then it's just kind of you get that momentum going, which is very important. This getting that momentum.
Awesome.
What was
Yes, I
that?
love that. I
I
love
said
that.
the
The power
man.
list. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, odds, and you
The
say you win that day, you win the week, you win the month, so on and so forth.
And then
yeah,
something
it's that
recently I've been
deposit
doing,
every day.
and something recently I've been doing is getting up on my first alarm. So once I hear my first alarm go off, I'm not trying to just like, all right, let me just like go back to bed for 5 more minutes. Like, boom, like I'm up, I gotta go, gotta move, get into the bathroom, get my stuff ready, and I'm out. Like, no more just kind of like hanging out. I got 5 more minutes. Like, oh, I can
Good
wait
for
here. Just
you.
if I wake up before my alarm, boom, I'm up.
Good
Man,
for
that's
you.
a great feeling.
I actually have my alarm across the room and I must get out of bed to turn it off.
Good. I used to do that.
Absolutely. All right, Prince, what would you suggest if somebody wanted to create a winning mindset for the day? Where would you direct them? I know you got some good stuff.
So somebody wanted to create a winning mindset for the day is, I got a lot of stuff right here, but I'm going to say the first thing I would think about is aim to be better than you were yesterday. Like literally think about, analyze what you did yesterday, how you woke up, this and that, and think about like, how can I do this 10 times better today? How can I be better about this day? So like, let's say yesterday I woke up and I just got out of bed. Today I'm like, I'm gonna wake up and now I'm gonna add a stretch in, you know what I mean? And just do something better. One thing that I do every day is right now I time myself on a quarter-mile sprint, and right now I'm at like 1:30. And every day I'm aiming just to be, if better, even if it's just by a second, I'm aiming to be better every day. So, and it's just in the small things, because I started to not really like think big of like the small things, like the small habits, the small deposits in life. You know what I mean? Like how you close the drawer type of thing. Like really, really analyzing that, like how I do anything is how I do everything. And just applying that method. And then if you want to get really deep, what I would say is just applying that method in a sense of like, we don't know how much time we have left in this form. So why not make everything you do for those moments count? Why not make it your best, always? And I think that's one of the biggest concepts you can apply to winning, to life, to how you navigate with people, interactions, all that stuff,
Absolutely. And it goes back to, if someone says, how are you doing today? What's the answer, Scotty?
Winning.
Winning.
Ooh,
Always.
Yes. Always winning.
It's automatic.
Automatic. Always winning.
Yo,
So go ahead.
I was going to add in something, because like, so I met a guy, and every time I asked him, how's he doing? He's like, always good. And for me, that was super impactful, because I knew he like was going through like things in life and stuff, but he's like, always good. So I like that, because I felt like that was a game changer for me. Like, bro, you got all this stuff going on and you still saying you're always good, and you do great. Like when you are just navigating through life, you look good, man. Like I wouldn't really know that you had stuff going on, and if you didn't tell me.
Oh, I love that. That's great. So I do believe that when you're winning, there's a lot of myths that come with winning. There's a lot of things that people think or assume. I know that's any way in life that people assume. We know where that gets you. Or people want to put a label on you, or people want to put you in this box or this category. There's a lot of myths that surround winning, in my opinion. And I think one of the biggest myths is that people think you are automatically like that. You were born like that. You were, and let's go to the iceberg effect, where you see a beautiful iceberg, but you don't see how it started from the bottom, right? You don't see all the hard work, the sacrifice, the time, the dedication, the workouts. You don't see all these things, so I think it's very easy for people to assume that winners just are that way. Look at Prince, look at Scotty. They're always winning. They're always in shape. It's just because they're trainers. How many times have you guys gotten that? Like, I know for me, people all the time, people think because I'm in the fitness industry that I literally stay in shape without doing anything, because I stand in a gym.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing for me is, the myth would be that people don't see all the work all the time. They assume that winners never lose. But how do winners win? They learn from losing, right? So for me, it would be that whole myth of that winners are just born that way, that they don't put in the work, when really it's the complete opposite. Sure, you're going to have, like Scotty said, the lotto ticket that was purchased. You may have that basketball star that's just talented. I mean, do we talk about Antonio Brown and how talented he is? Is he winning? Like, we talk about these different things of what people put into it. So Scotty, what would be one myth that you think people have about winners?
So this is like kind of myth. I really like yours that you're born with it. Like not everyone's just a natural athlete. I kind of just want to piggyback that off like a second. Like people always come to you like, oh, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? And they expect like change like right away. They're like, I want to look like you in like 2 months. Well, if you can somehow pack in like 15 years of sports and conditioning and workouts in 2 months, sure,
Sure.
you can look like me. Yeah. But like it's like people think like, oh, you're just in shape, you're a trainer, blah blah. I work out every single day. Like I recently been like watching what I eat. Like I can't just like I do want to be a good example for people. So that's why I'm also cleaning myself up because I want people to live a healthier life. Like I 100% got by eating crap all the time, but like it started off with me working out a lot and then I started eating like crap and then it kind of just balanced out a little bit. Like I already got to that point and I wasn't happy though. Like it wasn't at my 100%. Like trainers, we all have to do this. Like we're not all perfect. And it's the worst, like it was social media and certain people, when you look up to certain people and you have like, oh, this person has done this like their entire life. Like they're just perfect in every which way, but like they're not. Like they all have their struggles some way or another. So just wanted to touch base on that real quick. One of my myths is not all winners are sore losers. I know some people can think like there's a couple times you can see like Tom Brady get mad and like break a tablet or something on the ground or like, but that's more so like they're not mad at just losing. They're mad because they've been working super hard at what they're trying to do. And when things don't go the way that they had to go, they're like,
so
crap.
Scotty,
they get passionate about it.
Who are they really mad at? Why him breaking that tablet?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Themselves. So that's called ownership. I just read that book, Extreme Ownership, which was great. But I also want to talk quote real quick from one of the most winningest coaches in the NFL, Don Shula, coming from a Dolphins fan. Sorry. One of his quotes was, "The superior man blames himself, and the inferior man blames others."
Ooh, good one. That's so good.
Yeah, yes. And Don, like I don't know if you guys know Don Shula at all. He's one of the only coaches to go undefeated, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time coach of the year, just most head coach wins and most like overall coach wins. But
good point. Really good point.
Yeah. So taking ownership in your failure. So it's not so. Don't get me wrong. Like when me and Megan play games, I've recently been a sore loser, so I'm trying to be better about that. I love winning. Like I'm super competitive, so I'll be like, oh, like, but like I am more so mad at myself. And that's what it is. I take ownership of that. So not all winners are just sore losers. They're just mad because they've been putting that work in and they're like, crap, like, all right, they're back to the drawing board. But like when you're passionate about something, when you're heated about something, like that's good. That's a common reaction. Like, and then not everyone's gonna be like, oh, I lost, shucks. All right. Like you're gonna be upset, but you're gonna come back even stronger, come back even more fierce, and you're gonna learn from that.
That is such a valid point, that when you see someone who appears to be a sore loser, that is such a good point. That may not be the case. They are just mad at themselves or disappointed they did not perform. So really good point. All right, Prince, what do you have? What would you say is a myth that people have about winners?
I would say that they're cocky. I would say winners are definitely confident because you got to be. Nobody's gonna believe in you if you don't believe in you. And even if and they don't care if anyone else does either, but because they believe so much in themselves. You know what I mean? So and I think that it can be kind of seen as cocky, if it's from an individual who is not confident in themselves. But they don't even know what that experience is like to believe in yourself, to be confident. You know what I mean? Which is unfortunate, for sure. But I would say that's a common myth I've seen. And then like being in the room or meeting certain winners and being like, man, like he's pretty down to earth. This person is pretty humble. You know what I mean? They actually are really, really kind. But you can see that they have that glow of confidence on themselves. And I think it goes back to something I said, like maybe a few weeks ago or whatever, but like I can believe in me and like kind of like put it like this. I don't have to be superior or inferior to anyone. I can just know how great I am. And I could, look at you like you're great, that as well, we equals, but you get it. You get it.
You dope. You dope.
I love it.
Let me mute.
I love it. So
Uh,
let's talk about real quick. I love Darren Woodson. Okay. Great podcast. All you Cowboy fans out there. He's amazing. So I was listening to his podcast, and one of the questions that they were talking about was, when you are doing something, do you need someone to cheer for you? Like, are you're playing in the playoffs? Do you need the fans? Do you need someone to cheer you on? And I actually got to message with Darren Woodson, who was very
so
cool.
fun.
We messaged back and forth because he totally 100% put my perspective in the words. No, I don't need you to cheer for me. I'm doing this for me, and I'm going to do it regardless of if you're cheering for me or not. And when he said that, he's like, I don't need to tell someone what I'm doing in my businesses. I don't need to tell anyone what I was doing in my training or in my, with football, besides the plays. He's like, because I was doing it for me and it was mine. I don't need the cheer squad. I don't need that. And he said that, and some would take that as being cocky, right, Prince? Like, some would take that as, oh, he's cocky. He doesn't need anyone. No, it takes a village. Absolutely. He's got support systems. He's got people, trainers. But the point of his conversation was, he does not need that noise to push him to win. He's got it himself up here to push him to win.
He's got a certain level of self-sufficiency about himself.
Yes. Yeah, and that conversation stood out to me. And that's why he was one of the best Cowboy players. Scotty?
Yeah, it's about having like equal amount of ego and equal amount of humility. Like Jocko said, like it's literally, you have to have that balance. Like you don't want to be like a huge prick and be like, oh, like I do this, and boast all the time because like you're great. Like we get it, you're great. That's awesome. But you also have some humility as well. You have to like kind of like understand, but you also don't want to be too humble at the same time, because then you kind of lose that confidence.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've thrown around so many names today. Gosh, we've name dropped so much, and we're only like a little into this. Okay. So let's really name drop. Okay. Let's really name drop. What or who, let's say who, one person who you think is always winning. Now, I got to go with Tom Brady. Love it. Love him. Hate him. The guy is a winner, a leader. He possesses the qualities that we just talked about. I know a lot of people, Scotty, around you and I in Maryland, do not like Brady. They do not like Brady.
I respect him now. I didn't like him for a while because he was in my division, but I respect him.
Okay. Well, let's talk about how he's 44. He's older than all three opposing playoff coaches that he could potentially see. Okay. 44 years old. Number one, not does he only teach us that age is just a number, because him and I, we graduated high school together. I'm just saying. So he gives me the motivation that age is just a number. I have a group me set up for a bunch of clients, people that I work with, and that was my post today. You love them or hate them. He teaches us winning every day. Right now, in my opinion, he is the most loved and hated and most watched football player of this weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Scotty,
Yeah, exactly.
Who do you have?
I have a bunch of names. I want to kind of just rattle some of them, but I want to talk about one in particular. I've got Tom Brady. I had LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Phil Heath, like when it comes to kind of like overall just like consistency. That's what I think about when you just think always winning. You think about the consistency. But we'll talk about my man Tiger Woods. Like that man
Yeah.
just
Okay.
crushed it. I don't know if I can pull up the stat real quick, but this dude had some crazy stat where out of I think like in a certain amount of like years, like 5 years, they took his overall score as like negative. It was like under by like 200 or like 100 and something. And it was like the next closest person was like plus like 20 in
Wow.
like 5 years span. Like he just was always under the, like just always under it. The dude was just automatic. And the only thing that's been holding him back has been injuries. Like if this guy, well, if he didn't cheat on his wife and do all those things and get in a car accident, dude wouldn't have any back problems. You know what I mean? If he didn't get into this unfortunate recent car accident as well, like dude, he just won a Masters like what 3 years ago? Like the dude 4 years ago, he's like he's still got it and he's automatic. Like I can't wait to see his son play because I know his son's gonna have that same mentality. He's already crushed it. They did a golf tournament with like father and son, and they got second place, and the kid's in middle school. Like
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's also too, let's talk a little bit about myths of winners, that people think that winners are like robots and they don't have emotional or life situations that happen, that they make all the right decisions. Like that's another myth, right? And I think Tiger Woods, unfortunately, but fortunately, you know, is a good example of that. Winners aren't robots. Like they're humans. They make mistakes.
Yeah.
They don't make the right choices all the time. You hear a lot in the world of the NFL, the NBA, whatever sport that it may be, that, you know, not a lot of times, but sometimes the right choices aren't made. But winners are still human. So
and it's tough
Prince,
too, being sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah,
it's tough too because like it's tough because like winners, like they have such a spotlight on them, and like just take like certain people like LeBron James has been with his wife since like high school, and but he's like, when have you ever heard him do anything bad outside of wherever, like outside the NBA? Like when has he ever done like a negative thing? Like dude's a humanitarian. Like the dude like set up colleges, so like anyone that goes to his school gets a full ride to like college. Like he just helps people. But like you have other like athletes who kind of like they make some money, they're not used to it, and then they go and they drive 150 miles down the road and they get into an accident, or they just blow all their money and like they just do stupid things. So it's also being able to have the self-will to be able to control that spotlight, because like you don't always think about it. Like everyone wants to be a winner, but you don't know like sometimes until you have that spotlight on you as well. Like, can you handle the pressure? Can you handle the constant like, hey, like, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can you do that? Like, do this for me. Like, you become a celebrity, and like, it's really tough on some people. So being able to have that self-will, I feel like is also another key thing to be a winner.
Absolutely. And you guys have to remember, like being in the spotlight or not, unfortunately, there's a lot of people around, especially high profile business and athletes. People are just waiting for you to mess up.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Paparazzi is just ready.
They are waiting. They're waiting to get that Britney Spears picture. They're waiting to get that Tiger Woods picture. They're waiting to see Tom Brady screw up on something. They're waiting to see, and they're waiting for that moment. And that is tough.
Because they don't have that winning mentality, because they're using somebody else to become great. That's their scapegoat. They're not, what are they doing? Oh, cool. You took a picture at the right time at the right place. That's good for you. But like, what did you have to do to get there? Like, just drive there? Like, come on.
Yep. All right. I know we got kind of off on a tangent. Okay, so we need to hear, Prince, who is someone that you think is always winning?
I got two people, but real quick off that last topic. Yeah, man, people like that piss me off. Moving on. All right. Moving on. For real.
Wow, that is the quickest you've ever said a statement and been like, done. All right, let's go.
I was like, because if I go any further,
All right,
but
focus.
I would say
focus.
two people, and y'all know I don't watch sports really, but I gotta give the GOAT, Kobe. I watched an interview with him
100%.
with this one guy. I'll reference back to him later. And in the interview, like I was like, dang, dude, like you did all of that. He was talking about like there's some things I think about when I'm having a hard day, or when I think I got a lot to balance, and how like he said, like for his children, he would catch flights back just to like see like their performance, or like to see one event and then catch a flight back that same night. Like, you know what I mean? Like going all the way out of his way for his family. He talked about how he played games with fevers, no sleep at all these different things, like, and just went above and beyond at life. Like you could tell it was a game of basketball that he loved, but it was a game of life that he was just like all over going hard at. So I got to give it to Kobe as a first person. Next person, definitely RIP to both of them, would be Nipsey Hussle, and that's my favorite artist. Got to bring him up always. But just seeing everything all the challenges he beat in life, and as an LA native in a sense, kind of watching his process. Like I witnessed when he first came out versus when everyone knew who he was, and to see like someone stick to their morals, their values. They never switched up like what they believed in. They evolved, but only in a positive way. I got to give it to Nipsey on that one.
I love that. Those are two excellent examples. And I think that Scotty and I both definitely agree with you on those for
Yeah,
real, definitely. Absolutely.
The Kobe one too is like deep because he just wasn't winning at basketball. Dude won off the court as well. Like he was in production, like he was a producer, like he just did so much off the court as well. He was a great coach, great father, everything like that. But he's also someone who went through adversity as well. Like he got caught cheating on his wife, and to be able to have that conversation and to go back and like talk to her. I remember they brought this up on Andy Frisella's podcast, and they were saying like how much like he had to own that and like talk to her about that, and like then like that made him better because he took ownership over that. It was someone who knew if he did something wrong, all right, cool, he owned up to it.
Right. Which is a perfect transition into the next thing I want to talk about is, why is it important to lose? Why is it important to fail? So losing and failing are two very important parts of winning, in my opinion. Okay. The only difference is winners definitely look for how to grow and learn. Okay. So it's important to learn and grow. Like you fail your way forward, you learn from your losses. And I think that's what really sets apart a winner, is that they take all of those losses or anything that they didn't win at, and they work at it and being better. I always tell any athletes that I work with, and I tell this to Reese all the time, it's so easy to work on your strengths. Like it's so easy, for Reese to go out there on the soccer field and kick a gorgeous, gorgeous corner kick for her team. Okay. But it's really hard and takes a really strong athlete to work on your weaknesses, because they're not exciting. It's not fun. It's not glamorous. You don't get, we talk about, the cheering, you don't get noticed for it. Like if she goes out on the soccer field and I'm watching and I'm knowing what her weakness is and what she's working on, and she does something that she's been up at the field practicing, and she does it in a game, I lose my mind. I'm so pumped and proud, but nobody understands it. And I'm like, did you guys just see that? Did you just see her break down? Did you just see her break down? They're like, okay, soccer mom. No, it means so much to me because I know that she was working on her weaknesses, and I do that. And I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Yeah, she just had a beautiful corner kick and, dropped it right in front of the goal. But that was exciting. But it took her the time, the dedication, not only practicing, but to put that in the craft in the game, like the two comes together. It's so easy to practice and do it out there, but when you put it in a
Mhm.
moment of pressure, like that's so awesome. So I think it's important to lose because you need to be aware and awake that winning really comes from working on your weaknesses, and it's hard and it sucks and it's ugly and it's uncomfortable. Blah, I hate it. I'm working on some weaknesses of my own right now and it's not glamorous, and I'm looking at it
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh, let's just keep going. Trust the
Mhm.
process. The process will get you there. So
Yep.
Scotty, why do you think it's important to lose or fail?
Same exact thing. Like you're only as strong as your worst weakness. So it's you learn from your mistakes. When you lose, you know what to do to try better, to get better. All right, cool. That didn't work. Let's regame plan. Boom, let's try this. All right. And the more you do that, the more you're just going to add tools to your arsenal, because now you're just going to be well-rounded. The more well-rounded you are, no one's gonna be able to pick you apart. All right. No one's gonna be able to like, all right, cool. Like he's not good on his left side. Like, all right, now I need to be ambidextrous. All right, cool. Now I can jump with both hands. All right. Maybe I could just quick throw my left arm real quick. Like something like that. Like when have we ever seen a quarterback that's been ambidextrous? Like that would be like the next big thing I feel like in the NFL is having a quarterback that can throw with either arm. Like that would
That'd
be
be crazy.
wild. That'd be
Right.
wild. Because like Tua right now, Tua is not a great quarterback, but like he's a lefty, and they always talk about how the lefty quarterbacks like defenses have to really get ready for that, because he throws the ball coming across the opposite way. So like usually they're just so used to the ball coming one way from whatever side of
Right.
the field they're on. Now they have to focus on the other side. So learning from your mistakes. When you lose, then you know that you need to work harder. You need to fight harder. So it's like kind of just like it's humbling. Like if you always
Mhm.
win, like Trevor Lawrence in the NFL, dude has never lost a game in his entire career. He played high school and college football and never lost a game. And came to the NFL, and I think the Jaguars won what 2-3 games this year.
Right. Yeah.
Dude took a lot of L's, like a lot of L's. So I bet this season was super humbling for him. And I think that, like, I'm not saying he's gonna be like amazing next year, but I think he's gonna bounce back and he's gonna crush it. Like Joe Burrow. He threw so many picks last year. Then he tore his ACL, and he came back, and that look at him. He's first Bengals win, first time they're in the championship in how long? 30 years?
Right.
Like
The last time the Bengals were in the championship, text message did not exist. They said cell
mhm.
phones were the big first cell phones, like the Zach Morris cell phone of Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Seinfeld was the most popular show. And let's go back to this. I will tell you this. We're going to see a different Joe, different Cincinnati team. We need to, because what did he not learn? That, man, you need to get rid of that ball. You need to be quick and you need your boys to block. Because if that
Hey,
doesn't
this
happen,
is crazy. I need to start watching sports because I don't even know who
They're
the Bengals are.
lying. It was so sad. It was so sad watching him get sacked every play.
no,
It
you
was so
know
sad.
what, Scotty, it was sad. And I sat there and all I said was his mother, because I come up from the mother.
Right.
I'm just like his mom, because I remember watching the draft and I remember his mom and dad, they're sitting on the couch, little town boy. They had no idea this was going to happen. Just like that kicker, man, 22 years old last night on the Cincinnati
McPherson,
team.
savage.
Did he even know that a year ago that this was going to be a winning moment for him? I mean, talk about that.
He told Joe Burrow that
Crazy.
they were going to the championship before the kick even happened. That dude is confident. He was
Right,
drafted. He was
right,
drafted. Kickers don't normally get drafted.
right.
Yeah, I know nothing about this language, man. I gotta brush up.
It's
Well, there's
okay.
two
All
games.
right.
There's 2 games you can watch today.
We'll
Today,
talk about that in a minute. So,
all right,
Prince,
cool.
real quick, did we get to you? Like, why is it important for people to fail and lose? Like, what do you think comes out of that?
I mean, a nice slice of humble pie and a side of growth for sure.
Right.
Or the other way around. You know what I mean? You could already be humble, but it's an experience to grow. Like, I mean, 100%. Like you adapt, you get a new opportunity to adapt to something new. Now if you're always winning, you're going to feel like, oh yeah, I did good. I'll assess it a little bit. But sometimes you lose, you're like, dang, what did I really do wrong? Like what was it? Where did I mess up at? You know what I mean? So like, it gives you that moment to reassess if you haven't been. So growth and that nice slice of humble pie for sure though.
Yeah, and I think to relate that to every day, I see this with clients sometimes, and I'm sure you guys do as well, where they're winning at their meal plan, they're winning on their food, they're winning on their exercise. And then what do they think? Oh, I'm doing so well. I can eat this, I can have this. And then what happens is we lose that winning mentality and we start to spiral down, and then our results go backwards. Right. So
Yep.
I totally, that's a good example how we can relate that to our clients in the health and fitness too.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely. Well, anything else, guys? I mean, we covered a lot on winning. It's an exciting weekend. Real quick, Scotty, I do have to ask you, like, who do you got? You got the Bucks or you got the Rams?
So I don't normally bet ever. And
What are we
my buddy
betting?
asked me this
What are we
weekend.
betting? Protein?
No, so like I put some money down on the games, and
What?
I know I don't do this ever. So I have it was also a bigger payout. So I went with the underdogs. I went with all underdogs, and they've all won so far. And I got the Bills and the Rams winning for the bet. But I'm really torn over the Bucks and the Rams game because like Tom Brady with the spread, like has some crazy record against it. Like whether it's like 3.5 or less, like he's like really good against the spread when it's like that. So I feel like that is going to be a really good game. Honestly, I think the Bills Chiefs is going to be. I think they're both going to be shootouts. I think that's what it is. Both are very high-powered offenses, and a couple of the quarterbacks are very winning. Like the Holmes, Super Bowl champ, wins a lot. Tom Brady, obviously, but then you got Matt Stafford. Dude's won one playoff game, and it was last week. Like, and he's been in the league for years. So I feel like we're going to see something special out of Matt.
Yeah, I got to go with the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I want the Chiefs to win. So a couple years ago, I love to tell the story because here's another myth that winners are jerks, because they're not. Because Pringle, number 13 on the Chiefs, we were working out at the same facility, got to meet him, just didn't know who he was. Honestly, he just won the Super Bowl. Super nice, humble guy, just such a nice guy, beautiful smile. All I could see was his beautiful teeth and smile. So wonderful. He knew they're like, hey, yeah, he caught a pass in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah, let's work out. Like, he was just so nice and so wonderful.
Awesome.
So that's another myth about like winners that, they're jerks. Okay. So Prince, you're going to watch some football today.
Yeah, my father-in-law has definitely been. He's like, "Come on, man, you gotta like watch a game with me." Like,
yes. Let's go.
So
Let's do it. Okay, so we need to pick. Yep.
Oh, my bad. Go. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead. I was going to jump into the songs. What we're listening to.
I just had like another quote from Shula that I wanted to say was, the only thing I know is that you win with good people. So it kind of tails to everything that we've always talked about, is be a good person, have a positive mindset, and just stay on top of your shit. And then it was kind of piggyback. I forgot that I had it written right here for about losing. And then people always expect things to be handed to them. People don't expect to actually put that work in, or they don't want to put that work in. So I feel like that's why you don't see a lot of people always striving to win, because they get let down super easily because they're kind of lazy about it, or it's that mindset. So it kind of tails back to our mindset as well. And like I said, like, it's so satisfying knowing the hard work you put in when you achieve the goal that you want. It doesn't have to be a trophy. It doesn't have to be a title. It could, like I said, it could be the day, it could be the week, it could be with yourself, it could be your relationship, like it could be anything. So just don't be narrow-minded when it comes to winning, because it's literally, it could be almost anything in your life.
Absolutely. And I'll never forget one of my last shows. in 2021. It was a stat class. I may have told this story and I laugh and I love it. My goal was for me, right? So we all backstage, they're going to call out the top 5. It's like a stat class of 11 girls. And I'm thinking, whatever. I've had fun, and number 5th place, Angela Romano. And guys, I ran out there like I won the Super Bowl. I ran out there like I won the
Yes.
Super Bowl. I was like, oh my God, that's my name. That's my name. And you know what? 5th place, I was pumped. And it actually later
Yes.
on ended up being 4th place because they had some missed tallies, but whatever.
Hell
A
yeah.
stat class out of 11 girls, everybody out for blood. I'm just there having a good time. 5th place, ran out there like I won the freaking Super Bowl. It was awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's
It
amazing.
was awesome. Real quick, the Andy Graham today, Scotty. Did you
Oh,
happen
yeah.
to read it?
I didn't get a chance to read it. It's still in my email unread.
Can you read it to us? Can you find it that quick? I didn't mean to put you on the
Yeah.
spot.
I got it.
All right,
I
well,
got
I'm
it.
just finding that. Last thing I want to say is kick doubt out. Don't have any doubt. Kick doubt out. Like, and I speak to myself on that. I hate doubt. Like, I can't just get rid of doubt. Get rid of doubt. 100%. Get it out of there.
Right. 1% of doubt and you're out. It's such a killer of dreams and goals. Absolutely agree with that.
It's you have what it takes, right?
Yes.
You want me to read it?
Do it.
All right. So Andy Frizella, you guys don't know, owner of First Form. I get a daily Andy Graham from him, sends an email. Ange does as well. Very motivational. So this one says, what you see as talents that successful people have are actually skills that took years and years to build through repetition. These natural talented people become so effing good at their craft that it appears to be effortless and magical to you. And it's not, I'm just going to say, it's not fucking magic. You have what it takes to do great shit too. You just aren't willing to dedicate decades to mastering your shit. Get it? If you can just do that, you can become one of the people that others perceive as talented. Every high performer will tell you the same thing. And if they can do it, so can you.
Boom.
Oh,
Love me some Andy. Love me some
Yep.
Andy. All right,
Tells you how
Prince,
it
what
is.
are your final words for us before? Well, first off, let's go to our songs first. Let's go to our songs.
all right, let's do that.
Let's do it. Let's go to our songs. Okay, so I'll start. You guys know I'm in that steady state cardio vibe. Like, here we are on my elliptical meets the stepper. 2004 summer vibes. I got to go with the Killers. Smile like you mean it. I love that
That's a good
song.
one. Good song.
Well,
I'm toning it down this week. Toning it down.
No, I love it.
And
Love
Killers
it.
are good. My favorite song by them is I'm the Man.
Ah,
Good song.
yes. All right,
I feel like I
what
know
you
the
got?
Killers. I just don't listen to them enough. I got a little hip hop route. I had one, but then I was like, nah, there's a better one. I went with Wins and Losses by Meek Mill.
Okay.
It kind of starts off with I'm not sure if it's from something, but it's a guy like super motivational and talking about dreams. It's like you need to eat your dreams, you need to sleep dreams, you need to dream your dream, you need to make it real, you need to make it like in front of you, like you need to feel it, and just like go like that's how the song starts off, and then it goes in. And the other one I was gonna say is All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled and the whole
Yes,
crew.
that's a good one. Never gets old.
Right? Hands go up.
Yes. All right, Prince, what do you have?
Man, I'm gonna go with what is a classic to me. Probably heard this song way too young, but Limp Bizkit, Rolling.
Oh,
Was it?
yes.
Limp Bizkit, Rolling.
Rolling, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So Break
back
Stuff
on
is one of
this.
my favorite songs from
Yeah.
them.
Yes, Break Stuff is by far my favorite, but Rolling's really good one too.
Yeah, so
it's
I
good.
got to see concerts were my thing. So I did get to see Limp Bizkit perform that song.
I'm sure it was turned up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
it turns up.
All right. Prince, what are your final words to leave us with today on this podcast about winning? We covered so much. What would you tell us as our final words about winning?
Man, so I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna use some wise words from the original Prince, the musician. All right, if that's cool with y'all, the legend. And he said, "I think you will always be able to do what your ears tell you."
That is great. Yes.
Speak it into existence, right?
Yeah, speaking into existence.
Absolutely.
I think it even has to do with like interpret how you interpret what other people say to you. You know, you can let it make you or break you, type of thing. So even in that sense, like somebody could say you're a loser, and then you could be like, I think you just said that you want me to prove you wrong. I think you just said that you want to see me win, type of thing. So whatever your ears tell you, because you gotta be a little crazy sometimes, you know, when it comes to like believing in yourself and winning and all that good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, winners definitely. Some people would call them crazy. Most just call them dedicated, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. That's what we got for winning. Okay. You can find me, Ange Fit. You'll see below on Instagram.
Right there, right
Okay. Don't,
there.
yes, right there. Don't forget to go to YouTube and like, subscribe, comment, ask us questions. All right, Scotty, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sky the Body or Three Dope Individuals on Instagram.
Prince?
Train like Prince on all platforms. So holla holla.
Holla.
Yeah, and you two are always winning. Definitely killing the social media game. I'm gonna be bumping mine up a little bit, but you guys are definitely winning for sure.
You too,
Both
Ange.
of you.
We all winning. Winning mindset.
Always, every day.
How we feeling?
Winning. That's how we're
Yeah.
feeling.
Winning.
All right, we will see you guys for episode 10. Talk to you later. Watch that
Deuces.
football. Enjoy the excitement. And then we'll see who's going to be playing next week.
All
See
right.
ya.
World.
See ya.